Ken Hackathorn here with my buddy Bill Wilson, Wilson Combat. You know, we've been down at the ranch here in Texas, Wilson Combat Ranch. Last couple of days we've been doing test and evaluation of the 300 hammer. To be honest with you, when I came here, there were some questions in my mind. Even though I'd had a chance to get some trigger time on the 300 hammer, it was interesting for me to see how it stacked up to other cartridges. You know, Bill told me, and he's been very public, that his intent from the beginning was to build an AR platform with a cartridge that duplicated the performance of the 30-30 Winchester. There's no question about it. We've tested at different barrel lengths, different brands of cartridges, bullet weight for bullet weight. The 300 hammer does everything it says it is, which basically it duplicates the 30-30 ballistically.
We're going to try to shoot a 130 Spear hot core through 2 layers of 14 gauge steel, 2 layers of OSB, 2 layers of 3/4 plywood, 2 layers of drywall, and into the water.
Now, what was interesting to me is you say, what's the 300 hammer got over the 7.62x39? I'll tell you what it's got over it, about 200 feet per second. In a platform, an AR platform, which gives you superb trigger, great accuracy. Accuracy of this cartridge is dramatically better. Remember, this thing was never designed to be a really accurate cartridge. This is an assault rifle cartridge. It was designed to produce, if it produces 4 to 5 inch groups, that's considered a pretty effective cartridge for this purpose. 300 hammer, as we've tested and evaluated, and almost every bullet shape that and weight we saw, they're basically all minute angle or under, which is pretty impressive. So when you think, well, if I get a 300 hammer, I can get the same effect with a 7.62x39, the answer is no, you can't. The bullet weights and combinations with this cartridge is far greater than anything on the market with this.
Oh yeah.
The only thing this thing's got going for it is cheap.
So this is the 300 hammer. This is obviously actually one of my favorite rifles now. I haven't shot it a lot, and I will in the very near future. But one of the things I like about it is the ballistics are literally out of this world. I was very impressed and almost amazed when I saw some of the ballistics and some of the stuff that Bill Wilson worked up when he kind of dreamed this idea up. But the amazing thing about that, the cool thing about it for me is I can shoot the gun very, very accurately and very fast. You know, so typically when I'm talking about running, you know, a bullet that weighs this much this fast, I didn't expect myself to be able to push some of the paces I'm pushing. I'm a shooter. I want to be able to shoot a gun fast and accurately, and with this gun I can do that. You know, and much like your 5.56, this is a 30-round gun. So this is a 30-round magazine, but it's a 30 caliber, right? Which is pretty darn unique. So, you know, that's a pretty high round count for the ballistics you're going to get and the amount of firepower you carry in a small, lightweight package like this. Pretty awesome, you know. You know, in terms of versatility, a rifle like this will allow you to do pretty much anything you need to do. You know, whether it's a ranch gun, you live on a ranch, or you live in a law enforcement setting that might require you to shoot longer ranges, or, you know, ballistically through vehicles or windshields or whatever else, this will do it, you know. It's an all-around gun, which is one of the things I like about it. So very impressive overall.
One of the questions I have is, if other people ask, well, what's the difference between the 300 hammer and the 300 Blackout? And how would you respond to that?
Well, Ken, in my mind, the Blackout is an excellent subsonic round. You know,
which is what it was designed to be.
When J.D. Jones originally developed the 300 Whisper, you know, which is, you know, it is the 300 Blackout. Yeah. He created that as primarily a subsonic cartridge, and it does a great job there. But you know, he started out with 1 1/8 twist barrels, and then when the 300 Blackout came online, then now it's stepped down to a 1 in 7 twist. And when you put a 110 or 125 grain bullet in a 1 in 7 twist, you're overspinning that thing so bad. There's just no way you're going to get optimal accuracy out of that.
Right.
You know, that's why we spent so much time on the 300 hammer testing various twist rates to find the sweet spot, to find out where these things in that 110 to 150 bullet range, where they actually shoot the very best. And it turned out it's nowhere close to 1 in 7, it's 1 in 15.
No. Which is one of the advantages of having your own barrel manufacturing facility.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an advantage there.
I'm sure the guys up at the plant was a little impatient at times with some of your projects, but it paid off.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think realistically what I came away with is, you know, especially with, in this case, the gun that we were testing and primarily was the Ranger configuration, which for all practical purposes is a patrol carbine, yep, or more of a self-defense oriented firearm, is ballistically, you know, everybody likes the 5.56, and let's face it, it is the U.S. cartridge today. But there's a lot of things the 300 hammer does dramatically better than the 5.56. And then, for example, that nice buck you shot this morning was kind of living proof. When you shot it with that 130 grain hot core spear bullet at what, about 100 yards or so?
100 yards.
Yeah, I mean, rarely does a 5.56 produce that kind of result. You generally have got to trail them for a ways before they pile up. We know, for example, auto glass, auto bodies, any cover that you might have to shoot through, this thing is going to beat almost all 5.56 performance.
Yeah, it even surprised me when we were shooting through the auto glass yesterday how well it did with multiple bullets. I mean, I expected.
I don't think there was any bad ones.
Yeah,
they all performed.
I expected the hot core to do great, and some of the others maybe not so great. But I mean, we shot 4 or 5 different bullets, and they all just blasted right through there and made a slightly larger than 30 caliber hole right through the target behind it.
It's interesting that all of them did actually far better than I expected.
Yeah.
The AK platform, let's be honest, most prolific small arm on this planet. Great tool. But if you look at it from a specialized standpoint, and I tell people, look, you have a market that you address. It's a customer base. You're not competing against the people who want this platform or the people who want that one. You're specific. I want a 21st century 30-30 Winchester that I've got, if necessary, 30-round magazine capacity to match an AK. You've got an accuracy that's going to beat all of them. You got a better trigger. You got an ability to mount optics without any issues. And you pretty much match the weight. You know, we weighed this Ranger carbine and a 94. We weighed them both empty with an empty magazine in it. We weighed them just a little while ago. And this gun weighs 6 ounces more than a 30-30 94 Winchester.
Yeah, that's including an optic on it.
Yeah, including an optic. So overall, I'm impressed with the package and the fact that you've got such a selection of ammunition on the market, and hopefully with more coming from other vendors. I think 300 Hammer's got a great future.
Thank you.
Okay, hey folks, check out the Wilson Combat YouTube channel. Lots of good info available and a lot of new stuff coming your way.